Hello everybody and welcome to the video. We are back to talk about the Ionia cards released with patch 1.0. I'm here with my good friend GrandJ.
Awesome to be here. Let's get started. First card, Claws of the Dragon. 2 costs. Free 2 when summon her when you play 2 cards this round. So initially we were like really wondering about how easy it would be to play 2 spells during 1 round, and some of these regions that's actually super easy to do. Like you don't even have to be in the like Ionia like least in double casting strategy to do it, man.
Yeah, she's being taken in a lot of decks actually. Mainly Twisted Fate Ionia decks. She sees a huge amount of play. There's a lot of cards like pick a card and shit like that. Just draws you so much value. This is the age of the draw a card because you can just stack so many cards in hand. A lot of them are fleeting effects, but you're just sitting on so much value. And there's sort of a thing where if you've casted 2 spells that turn, but you recall her, she will just come back out straight away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
okay.
It remembers how many cards you've casted.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Like, there's definitely probably some interesting bugs with her that haven't been sort of toyed around with. Like, so what? After you play 2 summons and then you draw her with, like, say, a rummage or something, she just gets instantly summoned to the field or something?
She'll just come straight out, yeah.
Okay. Interesting, yeah. Okay. That seems pretty strong.
Mm.
Like at burst speed as well.
It's burst speed. She just comes out. You've got no control over it, so you can't. So if you didn't want to summon her, the only way to do that is to not cast 2 spells.
Yeah. I wonder what happens if you have like more than 6 dudes. If you have 6 dudes and you just have to rummage into her, does she like just kill herself or something? Or
might be a good question for Jack and Jay-Z's myth busting action. Yeah. I would assume that she would just like burn herself because you can't pick a unit for her to replace on the board.
Yeah.
So she might just burn herself out. But I don't typically see Ionia going that wide outside of Kinku Wayfinder, the Allegiance card.
Yeah.
That summons a whole bunch of 1 costs from your deck.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, might be an interesting one to test at some point. But so I definitely noticed that with certain decks, especially the Ezreal decks, when they want to like just like start unleashing their combo, so they got the awakened, the leveled up Ezreal, and they'll just like rummage. They'll like rummage and dig through and just like do a whole bunch of things in 1 turn. And sometimes they may not have enough range when they're like chaining a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, being able to play Claws of the Dragon on defense just randomly when you draw it through like a rummage or something is like really good. Especially just give you that little bit more defense when you just need to buy 1 more turn for your Ezreal to just burn your opponent away. So yeah, I think that this card's very legit. There's so many ways to like take advantage of like a free card.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the proof is in the pudding. I think she is seeing a lot of play right now. But if we're done talking about her, I think this next one is seeing potentially even more play than she is.
I've Dragon.
This next card is huge.
2 costs, 1 free. It's a tune, so you get 1 spell mana when you play her. Round start, summon a Dragonling if you have cast 2 spells last round, and the Dragonling is a 2/1 ephemeral lifestealer. So yeah. At 1 free, she's statted slightly below the curve, but if you consider that she's got a tune, then yeah, it's kind of alright. Generally, a tune usually takes off like 1 point of stat somewhere. And then being able to get Dragonlings every turn is really good, and they're life-stealing Dragonlings as well. So yeah, it definitely seems like it's a good way for control decks to get some dudes and get some lifesteal in the early game. So for example, one of the decks that I played is Karina Control, and they basically run like a really thin dude line, and they basically just like let Elise get value on. So basically, if your opponent doesn't deal release, then she's just like spitting out tokens, and you use them to like chump block or to like just run them in for damage. So Eye of the Dragon is kind of like a substitute if you don't have access to Shadow Isles. Yeah, because yeah,
she gets played a lot as an answer to the aggro matchup. And all the decks she gets played in, mainly the Twisted Fate Ionia one. Lot of draw effects, and sometimes even having like 2 of these chicks on the board. There's just like, unless they're quick attacking your dragons, they're just like constantly topping you back up, and unless they're challenging as well, you're just preserving your more important units for your attacking turn.
Yeah, being free HP is actually pretty good as well. But like outside of your big, your more premium spells, you can't really kill her. Free HP is surprisingly difficult to deal with. There's only really like 2 cards. It's the Get Excited and the Mark one. No, it's the Shadow Isles one that shoots free. There's a new one that
Grasp of the Undying will hit her, but it costs like 5 mana.
Yeah. The Shadow Isles one
Gotcha from Piltover.
Yeah.
Costs 2 when you draw it this round. It's a good answer if you top deck it. Otherwise, you're spending 4 for it. Probably still worth just getting it off the board, even at 4. And
yes.
Outside of that, there's only the Swain cards, I think.
Yeah, pretty much in order to deal free damage in this game, you're actually trading negatively. So yeah, just playing this, and your opponent has to consume a lot more resources to deal with her. So she just sucks up resources that your opponent could be using to aggro you.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely very good in the aggro matchup.
A lot of the time she'll come out after a Key Guardian. So people are starting to run Key Guardian now, because they just want more draw effects in these kind of decks.
Is Key Guardian the one that gives the guy barrier?
Yeah, burst 2, give a guy in hand barrier.
Yeah.
So it's like what, you pass the first turn.
And then you draw, yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay, it works with the Trune as well pretty well. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I think she's pretty legit. Yeah, definitely very relevant for the aggro matchup. I have seen her a little bit, but yeah, seems like quick attack is the only way to really sort of effectively deal with her in the aggro matchup. But yeah, okay. Next card, Retreat. 2-cost spell. It's fast. Recall an ally to create a fleeting return in hand, and return is a 1-cost spell that plays a dude from your hand that costs 3 or less. And return is a burst speed. So yeah. Like I have seen some decks play it, but like none of them have really impressed me yet. Although I definitely think that there's probably a couple of interesting decks I would be able to like play this card.
Seems like most of what people are doing right now is just like returning a unit to protect it, and then just bursting down like Shadow Assassin or something to like draw another card.
Yeah.
It's probably the most use I see out of it. But I guess it's sort of about like what kind of cards really benefit from just like resummoning over and over again or something like that. I originally tried it with barrels. I thought I'd go for like so there's that chick that comes out and she summons a barrel. I was trying
Deckhand, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I was trying a strat where I just keep retreating her and playing more barrels, so I'd always have like barrels on the board.
Yeah.
But it was kind of just like a lot. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was a lot of effort just to summon barrels. And the other part of it is that Petty Officer comes out and summons a barrel, but Petty Officer is an on-play effect, not a summon effect, so it kind of like pooped on my whole strategy. So I guess it's just about what dudes would you want to put down with return that would get you really good summon value. So like everyone does it with Shadow Assassin right now is the obvious one. Greenglade Elder could potentially be pretty interesting.
I was thinking that there's probably a couple of interesting ones. There's that spider that comes into Stunner Dude. Oh, but that's on play. Yeah, like all the good 2-cost and 3-costs. A lot of them are play effects, not summon effects. So you have the Arachnoid Sentry, that the spider that comes in stuns a dude. The 2-cost Demacia chick that gives a guy barrier. That's also on play as well.
Icevale Archer.
He's on play.
On play.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of them are on play instead of on summon. Yeah, like I guess if you look down the list, there's probably like a couple that you could probably find out are probably pretty interesting. Yeah, like I think Shadow Assassin is like such a basic use for her. It's just like, oh yeah, play the card that just like draws your card, right? But there's definitely probably some spicy things you can do with it. But yeah, not right now, it would seem.
Yeah, it just seems like most of the use is just because I do see retreat pretty often in like Ionia decks. Yasuo is playing it right now. It's just to like protect a guy with 2-cost recall.
Yeah.
And then you can put something else down in its place. Like people will recall Tail of the Dragon, which we'll talk about a bit later. The guy that when he recalls becomes a concussive palm in hand to stun a guy for 4. Seems to be the most use I'm seeing out of it right now. But I think it's a good card.
Yeah, like I think there's definitely uses for it, but we just haven't really sort of found the broken combos to go with it just yet.
Navori Highwayman.
Just looking through the list though, there's like, yeah, looking through the list though, this doesn't seem like a lot of good spicy options at the moment. Yeah, not a lot of spicy things at the moment. Yeah, even the guy that heals your Nexus or heal your ally or Nexus for free, he's on play as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Greenglade Elder may be the only one, but then you like if you had it, you would just play it, yeah, for free. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that there's nothing really with it at the moment. But yeah, okay. But it's not a bad card, but like as soon as there's like some sort of combo with it, then like that's how people are gonna play it. So yeah, the moment there's a good card to combo with this, the meta's just gonna shift. Just be, oh man, I hate the retreat plus X combo. Yeah.
Should just keep getting like infinite value out of one on summon effect.
Yeah, it'd be something like that. It's just how people complain about standalone Z, or some like, yeah, it's in card games. There's always these 2-card combos that people just think it's like, oh yeah, this 2-card combo is overpowered and you can't beat it. Yeah, but just people haven't discovered the bullshit 2-card combo with retreat yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, next card, Sonic Wave, 2-cost spell. Its burst. Give an ally challenger this round, and then create a fleeting resonant strike. And then resonating strike, I believe, is a 1-cost that gives an ally +2 +0 for the round. So plus attack for the round, and it's at burst speed.
Yep, both effects are at burst speed.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like vulnerable seems to be way easier to do right now. There's actually like quite a couple of like really good like vulnerable abilities in the game. And yeah, I'm not sure about giving a dude dude challenger. I guess you can give quick attack dudes challenger. Yeah, at 2-cost burst, so it's not woefully expensive. but it does commit a certain amount of mana that I don't really want to do. The fact that you always have the option to do Resonating Strike for +2 is really good with Quick Attack. So I guess if you do like give a Quick Attack guy Sonic Wave and your opponent gives a defensive buff, you've always got the ability to go a little bit harder with Resonating Strike, like if you're like doing it on Zed or something. Yeah. I don't know. I think the Zed clone would also get the Challenger as well. Because I think the clone gets the same like.
I think it's only on
bonuses
flip.
that he does.
So I think on flip he gets the keywords, right? And I can check it right here. So on the front side, create an attacking Living Shadow with my stats, because the Living Shadow doesn't get quick attack pre-flip.
True.
But on the back side, it's create a Living Shadow with my stats and keywords.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be cool giving Zed Challenger and then
using him as a control tool. Yeah.
Could be interesting. And then you've just always got this really cheap 1 cost +2 to any unit just sitting in hand. So you can sort of hold on to that reactively.
Yeah, give some of your small crap, like 1 attack, 2 attack units, ability to trade up as well. Yeah, I guess worst case scenario, you can always just waste the Sonic Wave to just be able to cast Resonating Strike as well.
Yeah. And it's 2 spells, so it does activate things like Claws of the Dragon, Eyes of the Dragon, and Meditate, which is coming up a little bit later.
Yeah, I think these spells I create other spells. I think they're not on paper as powerful as like they don't on paper seem as powerful as other spells are. Simply because part of their gimmick is the fact that they play 2 spells for the turn, which triggers off a whole bunch of stuff from this set.
It is the cheapest way to give a guy Challenger right now, though.
Is it? Okay.
So the only other cards I can think of that grant you Challenger on guard, 3 cost burst. And
yeah, that gives it to everyone.
Laurent Duelist, play give an ally Challenger this round. And I think there's maybe 1 more. Otherwise, like there are a lot of really good vulnerable effects in the game right now too.
Yeah. But the vulnerable effects seem to be Bilgewater type cards. But yeah, so okay, yeah. So if it is the cheapest way to give Challenger at the moment. So I guess that's pretty not bad then. Time will tell. It definitely seems like there's a lot more ability for decks to control aggro. So that means that there's a lot more ability for these sort of control decks to start controlling the field more. And considering how dudes are starting to get bigger, I could see that combat-based, like Challenger-based removal being relevant. So I guess Sonic Wave could be a thing as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Next card, Scales of the Dragon. Free cost 4/2. When he summoned, create a Dragon's Protection in hand. And Dragon's Protection, if I recall, is a spell that costs 2. It's slow and it gives the ally +3 defense.
Yeah.
This was one that I was not a fan of. Yeah, the four attacks, like the 4 attacks, pretty cute. And it means that your opponent doesn't want to like trade some of their bigger guys in. But yeah, having like being slow +3 defense is actually really bad. Yeah, it's really bad because your opponent can respond to it with removal spells. Yeah, I just want to wait for some people to skip turn 1, skip turn 2, play Scales of the Dragon, get Dragon's Protection, and I just Mystic Shot it, and they just feel bad.
Yeah. I never see this guy. I've been playing quite a bit. and I don't think I've run into this dude even once. Like, I'm just trying to think of like some like funny little applications for this guy. So, like Dragon's Protection, unlike most of these create a spell or create a card like type things that are in Ionia right now, like it hangs around, it is permanent. So, like, I don't know, part of me sort of thinks about what kind of gimmicks can I come up with, you know, playing like retreating this guy and just creating a bunch of these Dragon's Protections. But it's just like giving a guy, what is it, 2? It's 3, right? Yeah,
3 health,
giving a guy 3 health at slow speed, it's not that good, right? And like the only units you're going to want to put something like that on are dudes that do have lower health margins.
Like,
I don't see a lot of scenarios where there's like some 4 health unit that you're like, yeah, I just got to put this Dragon's Protection on.
to be honest, the only guys I see relevant with that is any guys with regeneration. Because most of the time when you're giving guys a defensive pump, you're just making it so that they survive removal. So it's like the Iron Elixir. You do it just to get your guy out of removal range, and then so that way you still have one more attack or still have one more block with the guy. But yeah, if you're doing it, if you get a slow card, it means you no longer get that advantage of having that extra response. In fact, quite the opposite, means that your opponent has the ability to respond to your buff. And free HP doesn't give you that much extra range, unless it's like a tough guy or unless it's a regeneration guy. If you're looking for a way to just get a spell to give a guy +2 HP, so the only regeneration guy that comes to mind is Braum, and Braum is like really bad right now. So I don't
Braum's got access to much better.
No, all he's got is Take Heart, really.
He's got Take Heart. There's also a fun little gimmick where you use Undying Rage. Oh no, Battle Fury. +8/+4 on Braum.
Yeah. Is that permanent or temporary?
That's permanent.
Okay.
It costs 8, but it's
still
It's a funny gimmick. I'm making this massive Braum unit.
Yeah. But yeah, like I don't like whatever combo deck you want to use to try to take advantage of this Dragon's Protection. I feel it's going to be a little bit slow. Basically, that you would have to build a deck that wants to play freeze and also wants to play something that's on 4 or 5. Yeah. But other than that, it just seems like he's kind of slower and he's a little bit filler at the moment. Yeah. Next card, Concussive Palm. 4-cost spell. Stun an enemy to summon a Tail of the Dragon. It's a fast spell. And Tail of the Dragon is that guy that when he gets recalled, he becomes a Concussive Palm. And he's a 3-cost 3/2. Okay.
I'm seeing a bit of him. He seems like if you don't know what to put in your last 3 slots, well, just Concussive Palm every time, right? He's not really an Ionia deck that wouldn't benefit from having something like this there. There may be better cards available for your deck, but if you have the room for him, then you just put him in.
Question is, I'm pretty sure 95% of the time, I'd rather have a Will of Ionia over Concussive Palm.
I'll take both.
Okay, so if I could see the argument if you already have 3 Will of Ionias, then you have 1 Concussive Palm, right? But it seems like Will of Ionia deals with a lot more problems a lot better than Concussive Palm does. The only advantage that Concussive Palm gives you is that it gives you this, gives you a body on the board as well. Yeah, with some gimmick to recur 'em.
I mean, that's still good. And there are units in the game you don't really want to recall. You would rather keep them on the board.
Yeah, but usually, are those going to be units that you're going to end up paying for to stun anyways?
What? What do you mean?
Like, okay, you said that there are guys that you don't want to recall, but are those guys the same sort of guys that you want to be concussive palming?
I mean, a lot of the time you wouldn't want a certain unit there, but I mean, like, there are plenty of scenarios where people are running in at you, and their biggest unit. You might want to protect yourself from the biggest unit, but all you've got is like Will of Ionia, and it's like, yeah, I can recall that dude, but then they can play that guy again and get the on summon effect.
Yeah, but like the unsummon effect so if this big guy bouncing it back to hand means that they have to commit another big turn in order to play it down, whereas using concussive palm only stalls for the current turn, so they don't even have to pay the resource to play it down again.
Okay, but would you really want to give your opponent another opportunity to place like another Avarosan Hearthguard or something like that?
Depends on the situation. The fact that, yeah, it depends, but the thing is that like the thing is that Will of Ionia is always going to deal with a guy that's been buffed. Like, yeah, any deck that deals with a guy that's got buffed to a point where he's like massive, you just send him back.
Okay, so you play Karina Control, right?
Yeah.
How many times are you going to be upset when someone Will of Ionia's Ledros back to hand? Pretty much never, right?
If they do it usually means that they're trying to just push through. So either way, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, look, I understand, like, okay, I would still will my opponent's Ledros. Just so I can push through, because I know that in order for him to get another block again, he has to pay the whole 9 resources to put the Ledros down again. Yeah. But the thing is that there's far fewer guys that have like such big interplay abilities. They're actually a lot more rare in the metagame than you would think. And a lot more of the time you just want to get rid of a guy or push your opponent back in terms of mana of trying to have to replay more guys. It seems like it just deals with more things. Plus if there are certain spells, if there are certain spells that are currently affecting the board, then Will of Ionia will get rid of them. So if your opponent uses something like single combat, you can will the guy so it doesn't do the single combat. But concussive palm, I'm pretty sure they'll still do that. Yeah, so there are interesting things like that as well, where Will of Ionia just like gets rid of them completely. So it seems like the thing is, Will of Ionia deals with a lot more problems than concussive palm does. Yeah, so the usability of concussive palm is a lot more narrow than Will of Ionia, but you just get the benefit of having a free 2 as well off the concussive palm, which I guess just blocks dudes. But if you've got like shit like Claws of the Dragon, Eye of the Dragon, it seems like you're already fighting aggro pretty well as it is. So I'm not sure if it needs it.
So like I'm not arguing that it's like better than Will of Ionia, because Will of Ionia is undoubtedly one of the best cards in the game. But I do definitely think there is a strong place for concussive palm.
Yeah. It's definitely not a bad one. But yeah. Oh my god, now that I think about it, Ionia gets the best 4-cost spells. All its like kick-ass spells are 4.
Real talk, I think Ionia got some of the best cards in this set. Well, after Bilgewater, but Bilgewater got a whole...
got a lot, yeah.
Metric butt ton of cards. But like the 10 cards that Ionia got, I think there's maybe 2 unplayable ones. Or 2 that just like aren't that good.
Yeah. But yeah. So
the next one's really good.
So it's still undecided on Concussive Palm, it seems. But yeah. Deep Meditation, 4 costs burst spell, costs 2 less if you cast 2+ spells last round, and it says draw 2 other spells. So I'm assuming that this says if you cast 2 or more spells. Yeah. But yeah, 2 cost burst spells to draw 2 other spells. That seems really strong.
Oh yeah.
You're going +1 off it, and any deck that's playing this is running a lot of spells anyway, so you got like plenty of stuff that you can cycle through. Yeah, this seems really strong.
It's seeing heaps of play. I'm seeing it all the time. Like spell heavy decks. A lot of spell heavy decks are already running Ionia. Because Ionia has
got the deny and the will.
It's got deny. It's got will, right? So like Ionia Bilgewater. You see a lot of this. You see a heap of this. Big in Twisted Fate decks, especially.
Yeah. Because it does draw 2 other spells, yeah.
Yeah, draws 2 other spells, which further helps level up Twisted Fate, and also just, if he is leveled, spells affect him much better on the flip side. Really good card. And, I don't know, paying 2 and 1 card to draw 2 other cards. I don't know, I feel like you just can't lose with this card, unless you're just not running any spells.
The only downside is that you kind of have to set it up. Like, you have to get the spells on the previous turn in order to make this card cheaper. I don't think you'd want to ever pay 4 for it, though. Yeah. Although, I guess if you're kind of ahead in the game, paying 4 for it's not terrible. But yeah, it's like... But yeah, you do have to set this up on a previous turn in order to get it cheaper. But I guess for those decks that are already like playing a lot of spells in one round, then yeah, it becomes a lot more relevant and viable to do it. So yeah, very good card. There's a whole bunch of like pairings with it that like pair up really well with it. Yeah. Okay. Next card, Horns of the Dragon. 6 cost, 4/6 double attack. Oh yeah. Spicy card.
I've seen it one time. In like 50 games, I saw it one time, and it just took me by surprise. I never see him, so I don't even know how to judge him.
Like, it means your opponent has to block it every single time. You know, it fits the curve of like it fits Ionia's curve really well. Like, because you play 5 costs and you get that tiger thing that gives a guy +3/+3. So you give this guy +3/+3. Oh yeah, only turn 6, double attack, 7 attack, 9 defense. Pow. Yeah, and I think if you overwhelm him, if the first stack kills a guy, then the second attack punches face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Noxus Ionia, Horn of the Dragon style.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say about this guy. I've just never seen him. I've never been able to properly judge him.
Does he double strike on defense? Like, I know he doesn't strike first while attacking. Oh, okay, so double strike is only on offense, not on defense.
Yeah, because it triggers quick attack first.
Yeah.
And then a normal attack. But if he's defending, he only gets a normal attack.
Okay, that's
quick attack component.
That's a little bit less exciting, but still, double attack. Nah, like so this card on paper is fine. It's like he doesn't fit into a lot of the like larger, heavier metagame decks. Yeah, it seems like always in the more meta decks, the more expensive cards generally are a lot more specific. So you don't use anything like this. But I bet if you're starting the game right now, or you're still leveling up early on, using this guy probably just wins you games. Like, when you're still like learning the game and still leveling the game, these common cards, these big stat boy common cards just win games. Just like this, how I've been winning on my NA account. Just send Badger Bears in. This guy's a big boy, just like double strike in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fits into Ionia stuff really well. Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be like making a big splash in the meta, but
yeah. Ionia doesn't really have like 6-cost beefcakes in the game, or any like big bodies. They've only got like Cloud Drinker, Lee Sin, and Zephyr Sage. And Cloud Drinker and Zephyr Sage never got played. And they're not really like, those two don't really have big stats.
Yeah.
So I guess he's the only real offensive unit that Ionia have at 6.
Yeah, could be. All I know is that right now, like previously King Ko Elusives didn't have anything on 6. It was like 5 was the Tiger Dude and 7 was the Hatchling. But yeah, nothing at 6. So Horns of the Dragon. Yeah, just buff this boy up big and send him in double attacks. I just like double attacks, man. You know?
Yeah, there's not a lot of it, right?
He's
the third guy to get it, but he's the only guy that comes onto the board with double attack. The only other cards, like Lucian and Senna, to give them double attack, you have to meet a condition.
Yeah.
Conditions that I don't often see paired up.
Yeah, having Lucian with double attack ends games really fast, man. Games are over really fast when you level up Lucian. Yeah. So, next card, Lee Sin, 6 cost, free 6. When you cast a spell, give me Challenger this round, and if you cast another, give me Barrier. Levels up when you have 7, when you've cast 7 or more spells during the game, and his leveled upside, same thing, except when he challenges dudes, he gets to Dragon Rage them. And Dragon Rage, an ally kicks an enemy. Holy shit, the wording on that. Ally kicks an enemy into their nexus, striking both. If the enemy survives, recall it. Okay, that's interesting. Like, I didn't realize that Dragon's Rage kind of had like fluffy text word. It had fluffy text with like ally kicks an enemy. Yeah.
Well, the animation is, it does kick.
Yeah. Have you seen this guy much on ladder? I have. I have seen him once or twice.
I've seen him a few times. I've seen a lot of decks that run him, but don't always play him. And that's because I think this guy gets played as an alternate win con.
Yeah.
He seems like he comes out on the board really late in the game and just like Dragon Rages to finish him off.
Yeah, it definitely seems like from my experience, he's more of a card to deal with mid-ranger sort of decks. Like especially the deep deck, where the deep deck doesn't have a really good way of pushing you over. So yeah, having Lee Sin to fight a couple of dudes and like kick them in the face seems to be the answer. Yeah, so he seems slow, but his ability is pretty strong. But it does seem like the game has slowed down with its aggressiveness from this set. Yeah.
He certainly feels a lot more threatening than I thought he would be when he does come out. I haven't won a lot of the games where he has come out, but I'm talking about like maybe 3 or 4 games that he's dropped onto the board and I've been able to deal with him. It's like, even if I try and like throw some kind of damage spell to get him out of here, assuming I'm not running like Will or something, or like I'm not in Ionia, it's really easy to just put barrier on this guy and not care.
Yeah. Yeah, and at 6 health, he's like pretty beef. Yeah, between 6 health and getting barrier, pretty beef. Yeah, and then yeah, just being able to kick your opponent's biggest guy and then hit face with it is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the decks are exactly that do run him. I know one of them is Fizz, and I think another one is with Vi. I'm not sure about that one. I think him and Vi actually get played interchangeably. So like Bilgewater Ionia or Bilgewater PNZ. So Bilge Ionia would run Lee Sin, but Bilge PNZ would run Vi as the finisher.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. Like I said, I don't see a great deal of either of those two guys, but they do seem to just get played as late game finishers.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he's fine. He's definitely not as bad as I originally thought he was. Yeah, like I think he's kind of Yasuo tier. Playable with like a question mark on it. Yeah.
Man keeps hanging it on my boy Yasuo.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess like the metagame is really unsolved at the moment, but like as soon as people kind of sort of figure it out, and then we'll see where things end up. So yeah, next card is Dragon's Rage, 7 costs, slow spell that does what Lee Sin does. An ally strikes an opponent's ally strikes an enemy into their nexus, striking both. If the enemy survives, recall it.
It's kind of like I compare it a little bit to Atrocity.
I was about to say it's basically like Atrocity, right?
Yeah.
Except
this one's harder to play than Atrocity and easier to fizzle than Atrocity because there are 2 interactable targets. So like the big counter to Atrocity is to just like frostbite the guy who's being run into the Nexus, because then it will deal 0 damage. The exact same thing would happen in this scenario. But
yeah.
Atrocity is also fast. So you can sort of like bait them into spending a shitload of mana before you Atrocity. Sort of, kind of. They can glimpse their own unit if you Dragon's Rage, so they can kill their own unit to avoid the Dragon's Rage.
Yeah. On the other hand, though, Dragon's Rage is also in Ionia, which has Deny.
That is true. Ionia is pack and Deny.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think this card is actually like worthwhile enough in certain mid-ranger decks to like run 1, potentially 2 copies of.
I have lost to it.
Yeah. When you do resolve it, like if your opponent is like tapped out or like doesn't have the mana, you could just like Dragon's Rage could actually just like destroy games. Yeah. Especially if you got a big boy. If you got a big boy, Dragon's Raging it.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I think Dragon's Rage got a place in mid-range Ionia decks. Because I have had games where I've just had big guys on the field, but my opponent's got like a whole bunch of guys to block with, so I can't get lethal through. Even though my boy's just like significantly stronger, and it's like if you just had the Dragon Rage, you can just punch right through. Yeah. I think Dragon's Rage is pretty playable. But you have to have to be careful with it, just like the Atrocity thing. But yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's actually all right.
Yeah. I actually think that Ionia got some of the best cards this set. I don't think they got anything that is so woefully unplayable other than maybe Scales of the Dragon.
Yeah. Like Scale of the Dragon isn't a bad card. There are bad cards. And he's just like not a great card. He's kind of just satisfactory. But yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, Ionia, it's like, yeah, got some good stuff.
Yeah, cool. Looking forward to
next video.
Next video.
Next video. Noxus.
Yeah. See you then. Watch the playlist and subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications.